Hello, Yasas, Yasu, and welcome to Amigos of Pafos FC, where we talk about games played by Pafos FC because it's not just a club, it's a way of life. Oh, yeah. I'm Amigo Darren, your host today, and today we're talking about last night's match between Pafos FC and Anorthosis. Anorthosis hosted Pafos team at their ground last night. We're going to be looking at the video highlights of the game, but just before we start that, we're going to look at the fact that Pafos started the game on a 4-2-3-1 system. The team selection were Gorta in goal, Peleas was left back with David Luiz centre-back, and Goldar with hosting alongside him at centre-back. Felipe, right back, and in central defensive midfield, Sunic, the rock of the team, and also alongside him was Dragomir. Attacking midfield left then was Orsic with the centre attacking midfielder Quinar, and attacking midfield on the right-hand side, Correa. And up front, the infamous Di Mata. So we'll have a look at the highlights of the match now, and we'll see how things went. So, well, we started the game as usual, 300 miles an hour. Thank you for CableNet for the video of the game and Bet Alpha. There's the layout that we were playing in, 4-2-3-1. The teams came out then, and we were playing in dark blue from left to right. First chance of the game went to Anorthosis, very close, within 4 minutes of the kickoff. These are edited highlights, by the way, so it's all thick and fast here, fun and games. You love it that way. So, yeah, we got a let-off there. That was very close. Hit the goalkeeper's legs on the post and out. This, though, bang, what a header by David Luiz. Who said he's old? Please tell me. Because he seems to be enjoying his football more than ever. Look at that for a header. No one's going to touch that. Awesome strike. Awesome strike. And then we had this, Di Mata, great control, tried the shot, and hit just above the netting at the side of the post there, following up behind Correa. Another chance for Pafos, put over the bar by Goldar. And then the free kicks coming in, that whizzed over, just over the bar there. I think Gorta would have had it covered, but then this little interception here, this should have been 2-0. That little touch too far, never mind. Now, this centre-back of theirs at Anorthosis, he was doing this a lot last night, doing those long strikes. Simple foul there where the ball was held up, but Pafos went off the boil a little bit after they'd scored the goal, and we sat back a lot. We invited the play onto us. That was a close header. Look how close that was. Anorthosis is nearly equalising there in the 65th minute, and we were hanging on, and Gorta made a great save, absolutely great save. But here comes the goal. What a strike. That was not the first time he had struck it from that distance. 2 or 3 attempts he had through the game. And on this occasion, if a centre-back can strike a ball like that, the number 5, flipping heck. Oh, before we go any further, let me just pause that, because did you notice there that Michael was now in goal instead of Jay Gorta? Let me just tell you while that's paused, Jay Gorta got into a tackle with one of the Anorthosis players, and we thought it was a 50-50 ball. It looked like a fair challenge from what we could see. But Jay Gorta ended up being carried off on a stretcher and subsequently replaced by Michael, our number 1 goalkeeper, and he's number 2 from the Amigos of Pafos FC. Jay, we hope you're okay and it wasn't too serious an injury, and hoping it was just a dead leg or something like that, but it looked pretty serious last night, and fingers crossed, we hope it isn't. So that's why Michael was in goal, wearing the infamous mask. Don't know whether he's wearing that to prevent further injury now or whether it's a comfort thing. What do you think? I don't know. Anyway, let's skip back to the video. So we'll move that on. Where were we? I think we were around here somewhere. And I know we're further on. We're further on from that. And okay, we'll take it from here. Yeah, blocked out of the game there. And this was the number 5 I was telling you about. The goal he scored. Well, he's had a chance there, and that's not far off. Not far off. Neither was that. We've seen this before, I know. But it just goes to show the pressure that Anorthosis were putting on Pafos. And look at that. How did he keep that out? Amazing. But this strike, that's well worth watching again, because you know what? You're not going to see too many scored like that throughout the season. That's got to be one of the goals of the month, surely. Look at the way it curls. Bang. Get in. Michael, you got no chance. You haven't even warmed up when he came on for that. So, let's make the Pafos fans struggle and cry a lot. But the stats were as follows. Let's quickly go through these. 52-48 on the possession. 9 shots on goal to Pafos' 6. That's because we sat back after we scored the first goal. We sat back and invited them onto us. So, yes, they're going to have more shots on goal than us, and more shots on target of 4-3. So we're our own worst enemies at the moment, I think. When we seem to go one up in front, we relax, we sit back, we start trying to play football across the back, and we invite pressure onto us. At least this is my opinion, and my opinion only. 5 corners to 4, 22 fouls by Anorthosis to Pafos 10. And yet there was 3 yellow cards handed out for Anorthosis and 4 to Pafos. So I don't know what's happened there. How have we got 4 yellow cards out of 10 fouls, and they've got 3 out of 22? Food for thought, isn't it? Food for thought indeed. I don't know whether any of you watched that game last night, but it was a lot worse, I felt, for Pafos watching than it was actually being there, I would imagine. If you'd have been there, I think I'd have been pulling my hair out, screaming at them to start putting it together. The substitutions that were made, that came on, didn't really make much of a difference. We had a couple of chances. We've got to start taking these second chances. Really have to start taking them, because if we keep sitting back and then trying to hit them on the counter, that's all well and good, but we have to make the counters matter. We have to be scoring goals off the counter attacks. And I don't know, we seem to be playing some of our players out of position. Dragomir was alongside Sunic. I'd rather see him up front on one of the attacking midfield positions, left, centre or right. When he played in the Champions League, he seemed to get bullied off the ball. He's not a big, strong guy, but he is quick. When you're playing against quality defenders, you're going to get banged around a bit. And Dragomir is not strong enough for stuff like that. He's fit as a butcher's dog, don't get me wrong. But he's just not got the strength that people like Anderson have compared to him. It's not a criticism, because obviously our coach knows or seems to know what he's doing, and he's put him there for a reason. So for the life of me, please explain it, because I haven't got a clue where he's supposed to be. Where he's supposed to be playing at the moment, Dragomir. He's all over the shop, but whether or not he's resting some of the lads, I do not know. I'm hoping he is. I'm kind of hoping he's resting some of the lads. Let me think. So this was last night's game. At the same time, Ammonia were playing. So I was in the bar with some of the Pafos fans, some of the Ammonia fans, and some of the Apoel fans, and they had Man City, Liverpool on as well at the same time, and it was pretty busy. It's only a little bar. I would say tops, it holds about maybe 50 people. There must have been about 70 or 80 in there last night, which is great. This is great for local business. But it was busy, loud, yes, fun, great, atmosphere, banging, absolutely banging. So if you want to come up and watch Pafos FC and get some good atmosphere, then come up to Tala and look for the little sports bar opposite Stephanie Hill. It's got a big sign outside. It's even got a neon sign saying that when it's out, they're open. So pop up, ask to speak to Antonis, the barman, and he'll show you a seat. He'll find you a seat. No matter how busy it is, he'll find you a table and chairs. Next time, please pop up and see us. What's the date today? We've got our next match coming up very important game indeed. It's against Aris Limassol on a Friday evening, the 21st of November, 7 p.m. kickoff. So come on, Puffians, drag yourselves out of the armchairs, get down to the stadium, get down there early, and you'll meet the lovely Alia, blonde girl, media girl for Pafos FC. Come on down to the stadium on Friday, the 21st. Support Pafos FC, especially if you live here. Come on, drag yourselves down. It's great fun. You might even get to meet the dragon, the club mascot, on your way in. So bring the kids. They'll love it. On that note, let's just say that, hey, we talk about Pafos FC, or I talk about Pafos FC, and please leave your comments about this. Ask a few questions, please. You can follow the Amigos of Pafos on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, we're on it. Don't miss the next podcast. That'll probably be on the Saturday morning after the Aris Limassol match, where we'll give you a debrief on that game as well. And hopefully I'll be able to say, let's debrief the first of 7 goals. Yeah, let's debrief the first of 7 goals and go through with a fine-tooth comb, and let's hope it's the right way round for Pafos FC. And I'm sure it will be anyway. This is Amigo Darren saying, be good, and just remember, Pafos FC, it's not just a club, it's a way of life. Pame Pafo!